What is up, people? It is me, Monster58. Welcome back to another video review, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Alpha Trion, arguably one of the most popular of the original 13 Primes, pretty much one of the most, if not the most well-known of the original 13 Primes. But this version of Alpha Trion, as we're going to see, is a much younger version of the Alpha Trion that we more or less know today, rather than, old man Alpha Trion. But, obviously being a part of the original 13, we now have him in figure form for the original 13 sort of display and everything like that. He comes with his artifacts. A little history about Alpha Trion that I do find pretty cool is that he was the third Prime created by Primus, and he was one of the survivors of the war. And in addition to that, in the G1 continuity, obviously, he was also Optimus Prime, or, well, Orion packs his creator into Optimus Prime, and so he is a very important character throughout Transformers history and Transformers in general, especially in his role also in, like, Transformers 1. So you've seen a lot of different versions of Alpha Trion, but at the end of the day, really, really excited to get sort of the more, continuity version of Alpha Trion here today. So taking a look at the box here, you can see the nice Transformers. You can see the Age of the Primes right there, Alpha Trion right there, the 13 as well. And you can see the 22 steps that it requires right there. You see some very nice artwork of a younger Alpha Trion with the Covenant of Primus as well as the Quill, which is his artifact, or both of his artifacts. Him in his vehicle mode, and then you can see here some nice artwork. You can see Vector Prime right there, I believe. I'm not exactly sure who that is right there. That's one Prime, I'm not sure, but you can obviously see Prima right there. Voyager class there as well. More nice artwork that we saw in the front here, just in a bigger, just exposed bigger, and then obviously you can see your obligatory product shots. You can see all the accessories, Transformers in 22 steps, the artifacts right there. But as per usual with the box art, I think they absolutely killed it here, as per usual, and so without further ado, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Alpha Trion out of the box and in his alt mode. And I gotta say, guys, this is pretty cool. It's very similar, if you guys remember, that 2-pack that came with Orion packs, which was a remold and retool repaint of the cup mold, and then it came with the old Alpha Trion, which is a retool, remold, repaint of the Sweeps mold. When it comes to this guy, he is very much similar, but not exactly the same. But they did give him an entirely new mold. It's all new parts and everything like that. It doesn't really share anything with the remold of the Sweeps mold. But at the end of the day, it is very similar in terms of the shape and the idea of what it's going to be. But essentially, what I think is just a Cybertronian ship. But it looks really, really cool. So taking a look here, you can see the very nice silver for what will become his feet. That looks really, really good. I really like the purple they chose. I think they kind of went with a little bit, because I gotta, hold on, I'm just gonna off screen here. I think they went with a little bit of a darker purple in comparison to the 2-pack remold, retool, repaint. It's ever so slightly darker in my opinion. You might be able to see that on camera. But you can see the very nice blue here. This looks really, really good. This nice metallic lighter blue here. This nice sort of burgundy, light burgundy. Now obviously you have the darker burgundy for the rest of it there. And then this purple looks really good. You can see some very nice just sculpted in detail across the entire thing, and I really do like that. I think this looks really cool. The only sort of ugly bit maybe is on the bottom, but at the end of the day, it's also perfectly fine. We're also going to go over most of the accessories here as well. So this is in his, what will become his chest, but you do have the Autobot logo, which you can just remove here. It looks really, really nice. You can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Looks pretty cool. I'm a nice fan of that. You can see the silver for the, the lines and everything looks good too. Now obviously it has a 5mm peg and the 5mm peg hole right there, so you can peg that right in. And the other thing we're going to show is the Covenant as well as the Quill. So these plug in very nicely and integrated very well into his vehicle mode. I'll say that this guy has really nice vehicle mode storage. But here's the Covenant of Primus. He has some nice, Cybertronian text. You can open it. It has one page. There's another page. Well, one page there. There's another page there. So some really cool stuff. You can see Cybertron right there. Very, very nicely done. And then how he holds it is with this peg. So he'll hold it sort of like this, right? And then you flip like this. So like that. So really, really cool stuff, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is very cool, very unique artifact, one of the most powerful ones, by the way. And then the Quill. So the significance of the Quill, really, so what I found out about the Covenant of Primus is crazy, is essentially Alpha Trion could see the future, future events with this, and in addition to that, using the Quill, he could literally write future things into existence, like events, and that's a crazy power to have with just an artifact. But that's why this happens to be, these two in combination have to be some of the most powerful Cybertronian artifacts in Cybertron's history. But really, really cool accessories, and I told you, very well integrated. So you'll see that there's a little peg right there, and then there's a peg hole here. You have to put the peg for the 5mm sort of in that area right there, and then you can just plug that in. And then here you have pegs on either side. You can see those. And then you have the little peg hole here. And you can just peg that in like so. Oops, like so, and then that'll be nicely integrated. But overall, when it comes to his alt mode, even though it's nothing like crazy, and it's obviously very much just up to the designer's discretion, I really do like how it looks. You know, everything I think looks really good, nicely molded detail, very clean, very much a Cybertronian alt mode. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set this guy off to the side, and we are going to be doing our size comparison. So here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Fernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, the Voyager class size class does come through here. You can see that he is a bit bigger and definitely has more heft to him in comparison to Magnus here. But that's obviously part of the course considering he is a Voyager. But since so we don't spend too much time on some of the other comparisons, we're just going to sort of rapid fire through the rest of them. Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Micronus Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Alchemist Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Solus Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager Class Prima Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Onyx Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Megatronus the Fallen. Transformers Legacy, I believe, Evolution Voyager Class Alpha Trion. And finally, Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. Alrighty, ladies and gents, it's time to get into the transformation, which really isn't too bad. Now, coming here to the bottom is where we're going to start. So, we're going to remove all of the accessories here. And then the thing you can do is you can take these and accordion these sections in, and they'll tab together here. Now, you can remove this entire bit as a whole, and it's an accessory, and we'll show that in robot mode, but personally I think it's fine to leave it on, and I'll show you that you can just leave this bit on. So that's all you have to do to transform this. So from here, all you got to do, you're going to take the arms, you're going to rotate those out like so, and then from here what you can do is you're going to come around here to the top, and you're going to untab this entire section here, and you're going to rotate it up like so, and that should bring up the entire top of the chest section here. What you're going to do, rotate this all the way around, then you're going to come down here to the legs, you're going to split them apart, and then you're going to accordion these bits down, and then you're going to snap them into place. We'll just sort of rest them in place like that, rotate them both forward, fold both of the feet out. I'm going to take these heel bits, you're going to fold each of these out. I like to grab these little bits right here, and then you can just pull out the heels there. Then you basically have the bottom half of Alpha Trion already transformed. Then from here, you can just rotate the shoulders, bring them down. I like to just do that to give them some flair. Fold the fists out, and do the same thing here. So rotate this around, fold this down, sort of flare out the shoulder. Then you can fold the fist out. And then from here, the back. So what you can do here is you can fold this down, and then what you can do, take these sections and rotate them up. Now, you can just place sort of these bits wherever you wish. I just like to keep them like this. Then what you're going to do is take the section, fold it in, then you can fold this bit as well. Now, the instructions show you that you take this off, but honestly, I don't mind leaving it on like this. And then finally take the head piece, and then you can fold that forward. And so, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager Class Alpha Trion in his robot mode. And guys, I gotta say, this guy looks really, really good. Now, the comparison I'm going to put on screen with this sort of cartoon is going to be very different considering it is two different like versions of Alpha Trion, like older versus younger, but still, I think he looks really, really good when you're comparing him alongside his G1 counterpart. They did a really good job with just the colors, the detail. I think he just looks really, really just cohesive and very nice. Like, this is Alpha Trion, right? And I really, really like this. So very, very cool from like a design standpoint in general. He just looks really, really neat. And I'm very, very happy with it. So taking a look at the head sculpt here, you can see the head sculpt is really, really good. The only major difference, obviously, that we can see is that he has no beard, but it does look really good. The nice mustache, the eyes, it's just very iconic. It looks great. The silver here comes out as well. You can see some silver in the abdomen area with the Autobot logo. Nice molded in detail here, too. Very nice molded in detail across the board as well. I do like how the crotch piece looks with this little blue bit here. Gives some more color separation, some more detail, some more variation. More nice detail here on the thighs, and then down here to the legs. These look good. I do like how the silver still comes out in the feet, and the backpack is very clean. Even if you were to remove this, like, it's still a really, really clean backpack, like, around it. Just like, there's no point in my opinion that necessary that you have to remove this, but we'll obviously show off how this integrates into robot mode for an accessory, and so we'll do that a bit later. But overall, when it comes to the actual looks and details of how this guy looks, he looks really, really, really good, and I'm very, very happy with it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do our usual. So we're going to back up a little bit, and we're going to go up a bit because we have characters like Onyx and Megatronus. So we're going to be doing a bunch of size comparisons. So everyone get ready for that. We're going to rapid fire through them. So sending him off to the side there. Alrighty, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnius. Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Micronus Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Alchemist Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Solus Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager Class Prima Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Onyx Prime. Transformers Age of the Primes Leader Class Megatronus the Fallen. Transformers Legacy Evolution Voyager Class Alpha Trion. And I gotta say, when we're comparing these two, it's really cool how much is remained consistent between these two, and the fact that they're nearly the exact same size. I think the new Alpha Trion's just a little bit taller, but you can see the very big similarities between these two, and I really do like what they've carried across both of them. And finally, at least in the G1 continuity, his eventual creation, the Studio Series 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. Alrighty, and the next thing we're going to do is look at the rest of the accessories and how they're sort of integrated into the, as you can see, I had my Cronus over there, or Alchemist over there, but we're going to see how the accessories are relatively integrated into his robot mode. And so to hold his Covenant of Primus, you can just open it like so, and then you're just going to put it in his hand like this. You just peg it in with that 5mm peg, and then all you have to do is sort of just do something like this. Then you can plug the quill in like so. Take a little bit more doing because it's going to take a second to shove it in his frickin' hand. But there. Once you do something like that, then you can do something like this, and then you can actually have him like look down at it, sort of, eye it, and then just rotate his arms. And you can have him look like he's actually doing something with the quill, which is really, really cool, and the actual Covenant. So overall, that's like a really cool little display that you can do. So we're going to remove all of this. Oh, man. And got shoved all the way into his hand. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay, then to do the shield thing, so this is supposed to become like a shield, so what you're going to do is just remove it like so. And what I like to do to make it look nice is you can accordion these, and I like to accordion them like so, on top instead of on the bottom. Then you can just rotate that peg around like so. Then what you'll see is that there's a 5mm there, and then there's a peg hole right here. So a 5mm hole, and there's that 5mm peg that we just rotated around, and there goes that. You can plug that in like so, and then we will snap this back into place because... And there it is. Alright, so there's his little shield. I think it's really dumb. I don't really care for it, which is why I just keep it on the back anyway. So, to plug this back in, all you have to do is just take this, rotate the peg back all the way around. Then you can accordion these back like so. And what I like to do is you'll see that there is a tab there, and then the peg hole there, and then there's a tab hole there. And then you just got to line up the tab with the tab hole and the peg with the peg hole. And there we go. We have Alpha Trion back, sort of just kind of chilling out, maxing out, relaxing. But yeah, very, very nice integration for all these accessories, except that this thing, the shield thing, just really doesn't... I don't care for that accessory integration, but overall, pretty solid either way. Alrighty, and from here, guys, we're going to do the articulation, which really is pretty solid. So, his head, you can do, like, a little bit of up and down movement because of how the transformation is. Then you can do a full 360 as well, so that's pretty good. Shoulders on a full 360. The shoulder pads themselves can go up and down. You have up, down, 90-degree bend at the elbow, rotation of the upper part of the bicep, and then no wrist articulation, but you have a little movement there, but you do have opening and closing wrists. So it's funny how there's no wrist articulation, but there's opening and closing fists. I find that kind of interesting that they did that, but yeah, didn't. Yeah. Waist, you can do a full 360, but the way you'll have to do is you'll have to remove this bit here, and then you can do a full 360. Then you can kick forward about that far. You can kick back about that far. You have about 90 a little more than 90 at the knee. Rotation at the upper part of the thigh, and then you have some solid ankle rocker pivots. So very nicely, you can actually get some pretty solid poses out of this guy. But as he is Alpha Trion, I assume that most people really aren't going to have, I guess, Alpha Trion in some crazy dynamic poses, although you can get him into some very nice dynamic poses in general. So overall, nothing too crazy, not too bad. I am pretty happy with the articulation that this guy has. Alrighty, folks, it's time for his reverse transformation, which really isn't all that bad. It's pretty simple, actually. So we're going to remove all of the accessories, like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to straighten the arms out. We're going to fold them out to the sides, and then we are going to fold the fists in. Take the head. We're going to fold that back. Come here around to the back. Fold this part out. fold this bit and then cover the face with it. Then we can fold this back in, rotate this all the way up. Then we can start to rotate these a bit forward like so, like that. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to the legs, and then we're going to fold in the heels to rotate them around like so. Fold the feet down like this. Then we are going to plug this all together. You take the knee bits, and then we are going to accordion those out. Oops, pulled the legs apart there. Accordion the knee bits out. Plug that all back together. Then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the entire waist section, rotate it around, and then fold this section down, and then this will lock in. So there's a bunch of tabs and tab holes right there that'll match up with a bunch of tabs and tab holes there. So you're just going to do your best to snap that all into place like so, like this. Then from here, very simple, you're going to rotate these arms around, and then what you'll see is that there's a little notch in there, and then there's a tab right there. There's a tab hole right there. You're just going to sort of line all that up. Do the same thing here on this side, like that. And then to obviously do the accessory integration, we're going to take this, and what you'll see, there's a tab right there. There's a tab hole right there. Accordion that up, snap that into place. Same thing here, accordion that up and just snap that into place. Then from here, you're going to take the covenant, fold it like that, put it down like that. Take the quill, then you're going to plug it in like so, with those tab holes on either side of the vehicle mode. This is the one I always have the most trouble with. There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Alpha Trion back in his sort of Cybertronian ship mode. And so guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Alpha Trion, this guy's really solid all around. I think he's a really solid figure. What I like is that when it comes to his vehicle mode, although it's very much up to the designer's discretion, it's still really, really cool. Like, nice detail, very nice paint, looks cohesive, and there's no shared parts between this and the Sweeps remold retool, right, for him. I also do like that they went with a younger version of Alpha Trion. The transformation's pretty simple, the paint's really nice, the details are also really, really good. Then when you get him into his robot mode, he does look really, really cohesive, and he feels great, too. That's one thing I didn't quite mention in the review. He feels really good. Plastic quality feels good, joints feel good, everything really just feels good. He cleans up well. The details are really awesome. His head looks absolutely fantastic. And the accessory integration, except for the shield type thing, weapon type thing, really, are all really well done. One of the first Transformers also with, like, one of the first recently, at least, with very nice vehicle mode accessory storage. And, you know, it's well integrated. I really do like that. My only major gripes with this figure, maybe the fact that the shield kind of sucks in that he doesn't necessarily have the best articulation when it comes to his waist, because you have to remove the thing. Even though the instructions tell you to remove that big shield type thing on his back, at the end of the day, you can keep it on. But I don't really have too many faults for this guy. He's just a really solid figure. And so at the end of the day, a score out of 10, I'm probably going to give him between 8 and a 9, probably closer to a 9 out of a 10. I really do like this figure, and I would highly recommend picking him up for your collection as a very nice version of Alpha Trion. And so, I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so leave a link in the description of that. Also leave links down below to Hasbro Pulse, as well as Amazon if you wish to look at those retailers instead of just Big Bad Toy Store. And so I think that's really it for the... And I also say that definitely wish you all the best of luck who are hunting this IRL. Since I got this in the mail relatively recently, I imagine for those of you, for a good chunk of you, that this figure should be hitting your stores relatively soon. So best of luck in hunting this guy IRL if you decide to do it that way. But that is it for the video review. And so I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.